and welcome to my studio. I had to redo this video because I had a few interruptions, so I had to start over. But thank you for your question. If you listened to the fairy tale that I told a few days ago about the jackal and the hyena, you know what that story entails. It is about trickery met by trust. Jackal tricks hyena, and hyena is just totally trusting whenever the trickery occurs. The question I received from one of you was, why should I understand sequencing? Why is it important? Instead of answering that directly, I decided to deliver this lesson. I don't create a video lesson for every question I have, but I felt like this one was very important. So let's talk about the idea of a domain. When people say, oh, he had dominion over the whole Washington, D.C., what are they talking about? She had dominion over the entire Italy. What are they talking about? Or he has dominion over Iran. What are they talking about? They're talking about power and rules, that kind of a thing. So I would like you to be thinking about rules throughout this video. What happened in the first incident? Trickery. It was met with trust. What happened in the second one? The same thing. What happened in the third? The same thing. Now, in terms of the makeup of this fairy tale, how would you describe these experiences? The trickery and the trust. How important are they really? They are the backbone of the whole story. They must be in there to make the story move forward, right? We must have the trickery and the trust. And how many events are we talking about? The first visit, the second, and the third. All right. Okay, are we all set with the rules about this setup, the framework of this fairy tale? Let's say I asked one of you to continue the fairy tale. And here is the feedback you gave me. You said, oh, the jackal went over to Hyena's hut and told Hyena that he had a headache. Jackal had a headache. Ooh. And Hyena said, oh, come over here, let's dance and shake that pain off. That response and what triggered it, would you say they belong in the framework that we talked about? If you say yes, raise your hand. If you say no, still raise your hand. No, it doesn't belong. Why? Yes, because it doesn't follow the pattern. It doesn't. It does its own thing, right? We call the first three set of events, we call those the domain. What happened? What happened? It's not a set, actually it was more than two. It was the first visit. Yes, the second visit and the third visit. We didn't stop at the second, so I cannot call it a set. Okay, we still keep going. We have the third one, then the third visit. We call that the domain. That trio we call the domain, right? What's another word you can use for this domain? It's the trigger. Some of you call it the trigger. Okay, it's a triggering event. All right, you can call it a triggering event if you like. Some of you call it the input. Yes, the trickery or the trick is the input. So when Jackal engages trickery. What are we thinking here as the listeners when we are listening to this story? We are expecting something from hyena. We expect some feedback. Yes. And in that feedback, what did we have? What was the first thing we had from hyena? Trust. What was the second thing? Trust. What was the third thing? I keep calling 3 too. And what is the third thing? Trust. We call that the range. What's another word for the range? You can just create an opposite. We call the trick, the input. What would you call the range? It's the output. You can call it the result if you want. Yes. So, would I be correct to say that in this example of ours, the domain and the range are the same? Am I correct in saying this? If so, why? If not, why not? Remember the story about the jackal visiting hyena and coming up with some trickery and said, oh, my head hurts. And then hyena says, oh, come over here, let's just dance and shake your pain off. Does it belong in the domain? No, why not? Because it doesn't match the rest of what's in there. It doesn't match the rest of the visits, right? We don't put it in there. Would you see it in the range? No, it's not, because there's dancing over there. We don't include dancing. We want trust, right? Very good. Now, how would you describe the kinds of visits that create the pattern that we are looking for? What kinds of visits create what we are looking for this story to move forward? There must be trust. There must be trickery. We call these the allowable or allowed visits. They are our input. And over here, I don't know why I didn't put the range on the side. I probably ran out of space. But the range is our output. It is the trust. Did I say the output was the trickery? No. If I did, it was a slip of the tongue. Now, here is the thing. Remember we said there's a rule for this story. It must be framed a certain way for it to move forward. In mathematics, to warn us, to alert us, to say, hey, watch out, there's a rule ahead. We use the F. This F says, watch out, there is a rule. And what is the rule? This is our input. Whatever you put in, this is what comes out. Now, what should I put in here for our story that I just shared with you? I put trickery. Very good. And what goes there? Trust. Yes. And you can list whichever trickery you want. For trickery 1, what do I have here? I have trust 1. Trickery 2. Trust 2. Trickery 3. Trust 3. The rule works here. What about number 4? Does it work? It does not work. And what I was saying with trickery 1, 2, and 3, this is where they are. What did we say was the name for this? This is what gives us this stuff on these results on this side. Trickery, trust. Trickery, trust. Trickery, trust. What do these look like to you? If I say there's trickery, there's trickery and trust, what do these look like to you? What's another name for it? It's a pear, yes. Not the thing that you, not the pear that you eat, but it's a pear. We got it, right? Is this clear now? You're not answering. I think it is. Let me know if you need more clarification. My approach is go back to the story and make sure you understand it. What did we say is in our domain? These are the allowable visits. What is the domain in your part of the world where you are, in your experience? Tell me about it. I would like to learn how you understand domain and the range. See you next time. And don't forget your pair.